everyone, and welcome to another Monday Motivation. I'm your host, Daniel Krakowski, joined as always by Goran Vasovic.
Yeah, that's right.
And then today it's another party. We got Stas here. What's up, Stas?
Hey, everyone.
And we also have Dominic. Dom, what's going on, man?
Not much, guys. Good to be here.
And some of you may say, who is Dominic?
Or what is a Dom?
It's a very expensive and classy champagne, and also a very talented commercial real estate agent. So Dom is here. He was actually referred to us by Isaac, who is at home taking naps, slacking, not putting in the hours.
He's actually at a listing appointment right now.
Oh,
Okay.
Man, the young guns are just crushing it.
Not doing so bad. All right, Isaac. You get a pass. But anyway, Dom's here. He's going to be doing a lot of the social media for VSM Commercial, of which he's already got a great start on. It's going really, really well. He's also going to be doing some commercial brokering as well. So we're going to be getting to work very closely together, learn together a little bit. I'll show you some stuff about commercial real estate. You can show me how to, keep it young and hip, I suppose. and anyway, I think it'll be...
You old man.
Anyway, I think it'll be a great partnership, and I'm really excited to have you here. So thanks for joining us.
As am I. And most likely Stas. I don't know.
Most likely Stas.
Stas is on the fence still.
He's on the right now, yeah. He's still deciding whether or not Isaac is going to make the cut.
He doesn't make snap decisions, right?
That's true.
So, I guess it'd be fun to just go into you a little bit and talk a little bit about your background. So you do have some real estate experience, right?
Yep, so I had my license at Keller Williams for about a month when I first started. Didn't really like the office atmosphere there, so I moved to Coldwell Banker, Burnett, Highland Park office, and did residential real estate for about 2 years.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So now kind of making the transition to commercial, the good news is it's just bigger boxes now that you're selling. A lot of the same tactics and just good business practices will get you far. So I'm very excited to see you going there. So right now you also are going to school.
Yes, sir.
More than full-time.
Yep.
You're doing a 19 credit load.
19 credits next semester.
Which, for those, I think the full-time is 13? Something like
13,
that?
14.
Yeah.
Are you overwhelmed, or you got a pretty good handle on it?
I think I got a solid handle on it.
Can you teach Isaac how to do it?
I can try.
Yeah. So, what gave you the drive, the incentive, the motivation to take on this huge course load, and then at the same time be like, you know what? I think I'll also learn a new industry and take over the social media. And you know enough about us. You know Isaac first, so you know kind of the high caliber of performance that we always expect and that we try and bring to the table ourselves. Like how are you able to kind of put that together and be like, oh, I can do this? How are you thinking about it?
Well, first, I think school's important, but I obviously want to get that out of the way as quickly as I can.
No doubt.
Second, I love to be a part of something and want to make my life like something.
Yeah.
And I think like VSM, just like looking at the website when I first signed up, talking with Isaac, talking with all you guys, it's exactly what I want to build my life into. So that's the biggest thing. And I'm pretty driven too, so I'm pretty sure I can learn new things pretty easily. And be surrounded by you guys that
you have the right coach and
motivate me.
Daniel Krakowski, the Krakowski Corporation.
Yeah.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Daniel. So
really cool partnership. Yeah.
Yes.
So we just did another Monday Motivation. This one's going to be extra blast from the past a little bit. So if there's some crazy current events that happen between now and the Monday in which you're listening to this, I apologize for not keeping it very topical. But we had Sean Worthington in. If you didn't get a chance to listen to that one,
that was actually really good.
That was very high level and heady.
Unexpected.
It got very academic and philosophical very quickly. So I think now is a good time to kind of address some of the New Year's resolutions that everybody makes, because around this time everybody's like, this is going to be the year I start hitting the gym every day. I start showing up to work on time, get there early, put in extra work, stay late. And if you're not Stas, a lot of times that doesn't actually happen and you don't follow through. This guy's at the gym every day. He's looking sharp and always
He's not only at the gym, but he's always refusing my food advances. No donuts, no pizza, no cookies.
It just became a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Stress relief. But everyone knows, every January for the first 3 weeks, the gyms are extra busy.
Oh, yeah.
No parking spots in the parking lot. Locker rooms are full, but it all goes away.
The
sure commitment ends end of January, beginning of February. 99% of the people quit, and then it's all back to the regulars.
Yeah. And for me, I think that's kind of the excitement where I'm like, every time when I see those people start to drop off, I'm just like, I'm getting ahead. I'm hustling when no one else wants to do it. Every year, New Year's, what do you kind of do, Stas? I know you're probably the best at goal setting and making sure that you follow through. What would be your advice?
I mean, what I do is I take a day, half a day, sit at a coffee shop by myself, review the year beforehand, what happened, what the goal was, what was met, what wasn't met, renew the goal, review the goals, and just set up a plan to be able to meet those goals. And throughout the year, I always, every month, review the goals, make sure I'm doing the stuff that I need to do to get there, to meet those goals. And if those goals get met early, then they always get redone and rewritten for bigger and better goals. Yeah. I mean, there's always something that you have to strive for. And
yeah, aim high and set, make yourself accountable, like for follow through. I think of one of the accountability strategies that I liked that I stole from those Remax coaches a while back is
borrowed.
Yeah. Well, I'm implementing. Yeah.
Reinvented the wheel.
But they do a lot of stuff where to really encourage accountability. There's a lot of check writing and check holding where it's, hey, I'm gonna write you a check for $10,000, and if you see me slacking, you get to cash it. That's maybe an extreme example, and sometimes having a good partner, like going to the gym, that usually makes it a lot easier to be consistent on your schedule. So I think accountability is probably the part that's lacking in most people. It's the follow through, and so Dom, do you have anything that you do for accountability or?
Other than to wake up, I set my alarm in the morning, but that's about it. I need to work on that next year for sure.
I got you. Don't even worry about it. How about you, Gordon? What do you do for accountability?
You know what? I just kind of hold myself to a higher standard, and I also encourage my business partners to say, hey, whenever I make mistakes, even if I don't think I'm making mistakes, I want you to point them out to me. So I verbally encourage other people to criticize me and my work, so to make me perform better.
I'd agree with that. I've definitely been critical of you in the past, and you've been critical of me in the past.
Yeah.
And what I love about my relationship with you is there's moments where we're in your office and we can't help it. We somehow get there because we're so passionate, but we're basically yelling at each other. And then 5 minutes later, we're playing ping pong. There's no animosity. There's no anger. It's just passion.
I think a lot of people confuse it, and sometimes I get a little bit amped up and I talk loudly, and especially with you and Dario, for example, I know a lot of jokes stem from me and Dario going at it, and Ryan coming in asking if that's how Warren Bosnia started. Always caught it a really good joke from Ryan. But no, you have to, and I think a lot of people say, I was like, hey man, why are you so angry? I was like, I'm not angry. We're just we're just vibing. We're vibing, right?
Creating art.
So when you and I, quote unquote, argue, I'm just like, no, I want you to challenge me, and all I'm doing is trying to defend my point.
Right.
I'm not gonna take it personally, like you said. We'll, hash it on the ping pong table.
Yeah, and I think if you can't defend your point, then you probably don't have a good point.
Right.
But you need someone to challenge it and come, because it's really hard to mentally do it for yourself. It's really tough to completely play devil's advocate because we're lazy. We do shortcuts.
It's tough. Plus, also you miss a lot.
Yeah.
The other perspective, what's so valuable, and once you kind of have your head wrapped around hey, I need someone else to interject in what I'm thinking for my own benefit.
Yeah.
Then you're like, okay, you can say, hey, what am I doing wrong? Let me know. What am I doing wrong? Let me know. And the more feedback you get, you have the ability to fix it. And then obviously next time get much better and better. So that was kind of a big deal that I did, maybe 12 to 14 months ago, that I try to implement every single day. And one way to hold myself accountable is really just to lean on others
to help you,
to let them know it's okay. If you say this sucks, I'm not going to throw a chair at you, okay?
Yeah. And being comfortable
depends
with
on the
yourself,
day.
right?
Right.
Yeah. But no, it definitely helps to have other people involved to tell you how you're doing, what you're doing, and to hold you accountable, because nobody's going to hold you accountable higher than somebody else, because you might think you're doing stuff right, but if you're not doing the things that are going to get you to the next level or to your goal at least, some people are like, I'm so busy, but they're really not accomplishing anything. They're just doing busy work. Right. So if you have somebody hold you accountable to actually getting the tasks done that need to get done,
there's an objectivity to an outsider.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer, and it has to be like another human that you interact with, or a lot of. I'm no.
Supposed like a cat? What do you?
No, like
talking
apps.
About?
Apps. Just a lot of people like, I'm just gonna download this accountability app that's gonna buzz me or vibrate or something, ridiculous. But it doesn't have the same effect as somebody saying, hey, this doesn't look good, or this is what I would change about this, or you were X, Y, whatever it is.
Or Goran, you didn't work out today. That's a 7th donut. You should probably stop.
Right. That's much bigger impact than an app buzzing me or giving me a ding, something like that. So
no doubt.
Yeah.
I was listening to an interesting TED Talk where the guy the presenter was alluding to the fact that we as humans are just inherently very, very lazy, and not in a negative way, but as a way of resource preservation, where it's more convenient to catalog information quickly. So when you're a kid, everything's brand new, so you look around, everything's exciting, and as we grow up, we start to put things in boxes a little bit more. So looking, if you're just driving down the street and you see a house, you don't really see the house. You can't describe it. You don't really know what it looks like. You just have an icon in your head of a house, and you just apply it to that. Yep. You know what I mean? So there's all these lazy shortcuts that we do with our minds all of the time. So we end up thinking inside of the box, and the box that we think inside of is much smaller than it really needs to be. I mean, the fact that you are all quiet listening to me talk right now is a societal norm that you guys are used to, but there's no reason inherently that you need to, other than politeness, right? So if you're looking at trying to create some sort of result, right?
All of our mics are off.
Yeah.
I just got them back on.
There you go. They were yelling the whole time. But if you're looking at trying to create a normal, an extraordinary result, you can't engage in normal behavior to get there. And I think the theme of the TED Talk was the majority is always wrong. And he meant it as it pertains to, doing something outside of the ordinary and doing something beyond that. Because if you follow the advice of everybody else and of a bunch of people who are, in the smack in the middle, 50th percentile, of course you're going to have the same results as them over time. So, you need to be looking for those mentors, those people who are doing things in the top 1-2% who can share new insight. Or you need to, once in a while, take initiative and think of something new and improve upon it and do something that no one else has done. And that's really where the most opportunity lies, whether it's in business, whether it's in your relationship. If your friends are arguing, they're your best friend and their significant other, they're not a great person to get marital advice from, potentially. Right. So, you need to then find someone who has that perfect marriage, quote unquote, or, do something, educate yourself, and try and think about and approach it in a completely different way.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, it's looking back, if you've seen the Steve Jobs documentary, the Elon Musk documentary, all those guys got complete pushback as soon as those ideas were presented.
Yeah.
Right? And now they're
how about
billion-dollar
you
companies.
What did your family, friends say when you're like, you know what, I have the ability to set up a normal, traditional, stable life, but I think I'm going to go be self-employed and fling real estate?
No, that's not. As you know,
right.
Especially to immigrant parents, it's, hey, we brought you to America. You need to go to school. You need to use your 4-year degree. So go work in corporate America. Have the easy life. Have a steady paycheck every 2 weeks. Have your 5 weeks of vacation. Work 40 hours a week. if that's the norm that they want for us, that's why they brought us over here, because they didn't want us to, essentially work hard.
Right.
To suffer and to have struggles the way that they had struggles.
Of course.
Right. So that pushback is still there today.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. Even still today, though, with the success that you've had in this industry, you still get that.
But it's still the same thing. It's business. It's entrepreneurship. So you're up and down. You're working nights. You're working weekends. You're long days, short days, doesn't matter.
Right.
The work doesn't stop. So that's where that whole...
Right. It becomes easier if you love the struggle, like I think all of us do. We like to feel like we're, owning your own business, being self-employed. It's kind of like, going camping in the woods by yourself.
It's like waking up unemployed every single day.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, no doubt. But anyway, if had you continued to follow that advice, I think none of us would be in the positions that we are right now. And I don't think that's necessarily a negative against our parents or our friends or whoever gave us
right. Well, they're peddling the advice that they got.
But that's the norm,
it just
though.
keeps going and going
well,
until somebody decides to do something about
right.
it.
And they're back in that small box, that smaller version of what is the best way to act. And the more you can get out of it, the more you realize how you can continue to expand it and do it in a way that really provides, not only does the struggle and the uncertainty in your life really create the sensation that you're accomplishing something when you do achieve some success in that, but it also, gives you the ability to connect with people in another way. So I'm really excited about VSM Commercial for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is that I have someone like Dom here who's excited to learn and is going to apply the knowledge that he gets, and I get to share experience and help somebody else build a life and follow the path that I took to be relatively successful in a relatively short time. And that's the most exciting part to me.
What about you, Dom? Have you gotten a lot of pushback and your parents? I know you're going, in school. Is that really what you wanted to do? Did you want to be like a painter? And
yes.
No.
No, so I've gotten a lot of kickback from my parents and my friends because my friends either think it's stupid just that I'm not going to school to get my 4-year degree, which I am now. But I took 2 years off of college already, actually, because I was like, I just want to be doing something that I feel passionate about, that I can wake up every morning and just want to go achieve. My parents sort of understand that, but then to a point I'm like, yes, I'll go finish school for you. So that's what I'm doing. But I've gotten a lot of kickback for kind of wanting to.
How did you deal with it? Were your parents just like, hey, don't do it, but we understand, we're going to be supportive of you either way?
They weren't really supportive at first, just because they were like, we don't want to be financially, like, you to be financially dependent on us.
Right.
And I was like, you know what, I can do it, I can make it, and I proved myself to them, like, throughout the year. And I sold houses, and I was like, you know what, I'm doing it all on my own, and that made me super proud. Yeah. Now they respect that, but obviously they want me to.
Was it anything in particular that gave you the strength and the ability? A book that you read or whatever?
No, more so I think my life growing up, just like I don't want to be where my parents are at. No offense to my parents, love my parents, but I don't want to be where they are at when I have a family and kids. Yeah. I'm hoping that, being passionate about something will help me.
You want to take advantage of the advantages that they gave you to expand upon it and continue to push.
Yeah.
And I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's the experiences, good or bad, that made us who we are and want to do what we want to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Just like Daniel, I'm sure we'll bring up Find Your Why here shortly.
Not this time.
But that's the reason. You're doing your why you're doing stuff is the way that you grew up, the struggles that you've seen, went through, done, whatever else is always a big motivator and pusher to do something different.
And I'll put it out there too, because I really believe, I think a few of other people here might be willing to do this too. But going into 2018, if anybody wants to just get together, have a cup of coffee, talk about entrepreneurship, talk about business, I'm more than happy to meet with you. You don't need to be buying real estate. You don't need to be benefiting me in business in any way. Yeah. Let's just get together and we can chat about it.
Absolutely,
I will second that.
Yes.
Done. All right.
Schedule's
so it's
open.
unanimous.
Yes, sir.
All of our information's on our respective websites at VSM or VSM Commercial, which will definitely be out.
If you can't find it, well, you should be able to find it just from this podcast.
Yes. But anyway, more than happy to talk to anybody out there. Happy New Year, and thanks for listening.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.